It's recap time. 3, 2. Hey, quick interruption, Future Chip here. If you're coming from the previous video and you already know the drill, you can skip directly to the recap. Otherwise, if this is your first time, I'll let you with the intro and enjoy the episode. 1. Hello everybody and welcome to the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host Chip and this is not my usual intro. This is a bit of a special episode. Unfortunately, I will be away for a few days and I found out this interesting way of filling the gaps with recaps from previous episodes. If this is your first time here, use it as an opportunity to find topics that you might be interested in and go back to listen to the original ones. If you are a usual listener of the Shower Podcast, well, again, this might be a rehearsal of topics that you might be interested in. Otherwise, I understand if you want to wait for me to be back. But in the meanwhile, the podcast needs to continue and we need to reach day 365. Having said that, I will not keep you longer. Thank you very much for listening. As always, a like and a subscribe. They are always welcome. And now, recap time.
Welcome to this special deep dive. Chip thought it might be fun, actually, to take a look back at some recent explorations.
Yeah, sort of pull out the highlights, maybe some of the key ideas.
Exactly, maybe even some of the laughs along the way. So if you happen to miss any of these ones when they first came out, this is a great way to get caught up.
And you can always dive back into the full episodes if something, sparks your interest. We're just going to go through them in order.
Sounds good. Okay, so first up, episode 114. Chip titled this one, It's a Disaster.
Hey, yeah, straight to the point.
Right. And he started by just acknowledging that feeling I think we all get sometimes, where it just seems like everything's going wrong, you know?
Especially with the news cycle these days. It's just relentless negativity, feels like.
Totally. But the interesting thing was, he then presented this counter-argument inspired by a Toastmaster speech he heard.
Oh, right. The data-driven view.
Yeah, exactly. A more objective look.
Yeah.
He brought up things like, well, life expectancy going up, overall wealth increasing.
Statistics that kind of suggest, hang on, maybe things are actually, by some measures, better than ever.
It makes you pause, right? And then he dug into why we feel so negative anyway.
The psychology behind it, our negativity bias.
That, like built-in attraction to bad news.
Mm-hmm.
He's the rubbernecking example, slowing down to look at a car crash.
It's that primal thing, isn't it? Scanning for threats, even when the threat is just, bad news online.
And he suggested that maybe our worries have shifted now.
Yeah.
They're more complex, less tangible.
Like climate change or just general happiness, things that aren't easily fixed or measured, like, say, GDP.
Yeah, and he touched on that frustration, too, of like maybe feeling wealthier on paper, but having fewer meaningful choices. The housing cost thing was a big one.
Oh, definitely. That paradox where progress creates new kinds of problems. And the overwhelm of infinite choices, too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Trying to pick a movie. You spend ages scrolling and end up watching nothing. So real.
Yeah.
So ultimately, Chip's point wasn't to say ignore your feelings, but more like, okay, acknowledge the data and the feelings, but don't get trapped in that bubble of disaster.
Find a balance, yeah. Keep some perspective. It was a good sort of meandering exploration, like he said.
Definitely thought-provoking. Okay, so shifting gears quite a bit, episode 115 was Can I Get a Pass?
This one was fun and very practical. Managing free will, basically.
Yeah, avoiding those time-wasting rabbit holes we all fall into. The main idea came from this classroom bathroom pass analogy.
Right, having to ask permission, that little hurdle.
Exactly. He applied that to his own habit of, let's say, overwatching YouTube or something.
We've all been there. So what was his technique?
He talked about creating these physical passes, like little tokens, for blocks of time, say 30 minutes for those leisure things.
So you have to actively grab a pass before you start scrolling or watching?
Yeah. The idea is just to add that little bit of friction, to make it a conscious choice, not just an automatic habit.
I like that. It's not about saying never. It's about saying, okay, am I choosing this right now? Adds awareness.
Precisely. And he was honest. He admitted you could just ignore the passes or forget them.
Sure, you're only accountable to yourself.
But the value is in that moment of intention. It's like creating your own little referee, especially when you've got unstructured time like working from home or whatever.
Brings a bit of mindfulness to how you spend that free time, asking yourself, is this really what I want to do? Makes sense.
Okay, next up, episode 116. This one, I think, hits home for anyone creative. I have no chance.
Oof, yeah. The comparison game.
Yeah.
Especially with social media showcasing perfection.
Totally. He talked about seeing these incredible creators online, people making just flawless stuff. Like, he mentioned a bag made from old jeans that took a year.
Wow.
Or these amazing visual and music combinations. And that immediate gut reaction is just, well, I could never do that. I have no chance.
It's so easy to feel discouraged when you only see the polished end result, right? You don't see the struggle, the learning curve.
Exactly. But Chip's big insight here was that the real danger is trying to just copy or emulate what others are doing perfectly.
Chasing someone else's standard.
Yeah. He argued that the real value, the real magic, comes from finding your own way, your unique approach, your secret ingredient.
That thing that makes your work yours. Combining the product with your specific process.
Right. Something that's so ingrained in how you do it, others might not even fully get it. It's your personal technique.
And that's what makes it special, not just replicating something else.
So the takeaway was really encouraging. Focus on your own direction, your own path, and just start. Don't get stuck comparing.
The pieces you need will kind of appear as you go along your own journey, not by following someone else's map. It's about the doing.
Definitely a more liberating way to think about it. All right, then we had episode 117, tackling everyday frustrations. The devil is in the details.
Ah, yes, the tiny thing that ruins the whole day, potentially.
Exactly. Chip started with a classic example. Having a really productive reset day, getting loads done, but feeling bummed because he missed one goal. Going to the gym, I think it was.
I know that feeling, where that one small failure overshadows all the successes.
Totally. And that was the core idea, how one little unfulfilled detail can just hijack your sense of accomplishment. He called it the devil, trying to make you focus only on the negative.
That inner critic loves to latch on to the imperfections, doesn't it?
For sure. He used a really good analogy. A garden, maybe it's mostly thriving, beautiful plants, but you just fixate on the one weed or the one droopy flower.
And you risk ignoring all the good stuff, all the growth, because you're just focused on that one flaw and need that wider perspective.
That was the key takeaway. Step back, look at the whole picture. Is this detail actually critical? Does it need fixing right now? Or can you just acknowledge it and move on for a bit?
It's about not letting perfectionism paralyze you.
Right.
Understanding what's truly important versus what's just a minor hiccup.
Yeah. He realized, okay, he didn't get to the gym that one day, but the important stuff got done, and he could easily go the next day. No big disaster.
It's about recognizing progress, even if it's not perfect progress. A good reminder.
Definitely. Okay, finally, we hit episode 118, which was about that shift when something hard becomes easy. It's hard until it's not.
Oh, I liked this one. That transition point where effort turns into automaticity.
Yeah. Chip used himself as the example, deciding to always take the stairs instead of the elevator, 6 flights.
And even being fit, it was tough at first.
Totally winded him, which I think many of us can relate to when starting something new, even something seemingly simple.
It shows how much we adapt to our routines.
Danny compared it to high school climbing stairs all day. Awful at first, but by senior year, you don't even think about it. It just happens.
It really highlights that power of just repeated exposure, consistency making things easier.
But the really interesting bit was what he called the black box of memory around it.
Right. You remember it being hard, and you know it's easy now, but the bit in the middle, it's kind of fuzzy.
Exactly. That gradual process of getting easier just fades, which makes it hard to predict when something will flip from feeling hard to feeling easy.
He mentioned going back to the gym after an injury too, right? Feeling that initial difficulty all over again, even knowing he'd done it before.
Yeah, the memory of how he got past it before wasn't sharp. Our feeling of effort is very much in the now.
So the encouragement was basically, stick with it.
Pretty much. Persevere with those things you find hard, the things you might procrastinate on. Keep doing them.
And trust that eventually that perceived difficulty will likely fade. The mental switch will flip.
Yeah, it goes from something you dread to something you just do. Or maybe even start optimizing.
It's that push through the initial resistance, knowing ease is probably on the other side.
So there we go. A quick tour through those 5 deep dives from Chip.
Yeah, covered quite a bit of ground there, from societal views to personal habits to creativity.
Hopefully this little recap was helpful for you listening. And hey, if any of those really caught your ear, you can always find the full episodes and dig deeper.
Definitely worth it. They each offer some really interesting perspectives.
Thanks so much for taking this shortcut with us today, for joining this deep dive. We really appreciate you tuning in.
We do. Thanks for spending your time with us.
We'll be back tomorrow with another exploration. See you then.